Fairfield head coach Todd Kress told us at the top of the season that it would be one big work in progress all the way through December. Your quarterback, Ryan Glover, is 8 for 8. What have you done to make him so comfortable in the pocket?
Right now, he's just executing the plays that are there.
You're known for your rushing yards, but you're also known on YouTube for a handshake that you had with fellow captain Gordon Hill. It has only over 47,000 views on YouTube. Check it out if you haven't seen it already. Now, Kashadis, I'm not Gordon Hill, so spare me a little bit of embarrassment if I'm not as cool with this. All right, are you guys ready for this? That's all. On the other side for the Pioneers, their word this year is resiliency. They want to be resilient in every single thing they do. They have proven that so far in the NEC. We'll see if they can do it tonight. Eli Terry began to walk himself off as he reached the sideline after that hit. Since then, he sat on the bench, rolled up his pant leg on the left side. His trainer was rotating that left knee out, trying to get a good feel for it. And you'll see on her dismount, the rotation is happening above the high bar. That's what you want to see. She gets full rotation. She's able to open up, zero in on that landing for the stick. That'll be her first foul. Palmer not happy with that call, saying, hey, I was going all ball. And you'll take a look back to see if she was, and that was a reach around with the left hand. She totally grabbed the waist of Allison Murphy. Solid slide hit for Bennett there. That slide hit, you're driving forward and horizontally at the same time. Difficult for a block to read. Con with the timing. I mean, check this out. Right on the crease, he's just baiting Corsiniti until he gets the dive, and it's wide open from there. We talk about the rain. When it started to come down, your team started to build momentum. What impact does this weather have on the game?
Honestly, we always say we do so much better in the bad weather.
Junior tight end Matthew Gonzalez for Robert Morris leads the NEC, is third nationally, and has now set the program single season record in receiving touchdowns with 11 so far this season. The Sacred Heart Pioneers have added no first years to their roster, just one transfer. This is a team that isn't looking to build the chemistry, it's already there. Horning already with a 3-point game, 2 goals, 1 assist, fed here by Gallagher. She keeps it on the left side and then releases with that sidearm shot to the weak side of Kelsey Fee. Coach, defensively, how have you been able to limit Robert Morris to 51 total yards, 1 first down?
Kids playing hard.
That finesse, that core awareness, the ability to connect with the basket from wherever she is on the court. Coach, great ball movement, 27 assists. What excites you the most about that team chemistry they had on the court today?
Well, I like the fact that
tonight is everything for the Pioneers. It gives them an opportunity to go up against the top team in the NEC before going into the tournament play. Also, you cannot bore head coach Herenda because you have to bring it. This is a team that if you're not playing hard, well, you're just going to be replaced, and it's something that they have literally bought into this season. Coach, your team has won 9 of the 14 draw controls. How important is that in building momentum to carry on to attack?
Yeah, you know, obviously Marist is a really good draw team, so we've been working on it. It's very important to us, but we got to clean up some mistakes outside that.
What mistakes?
Unforced turnovers.
Andy Copeland implemented that zone defense heavily in the Quinnipiac game, which was huge for the Stags, something that has paid off for them. The quarterback also recognizes that this season it is so important to him to cultivate a relationship with each and every athlete on his team.
Welcome in Allison Gaskins.
Randy, not every day you see a tight end leading the league in receiving touchdowns, but junior tight end Matthew Gonzalez for Robert Morris leads the NEC, is third nationally, and has now set the program single season record in receiving touchdowns with 11 so far this season. Gonzalez is a key component of the Robert Morris offense and a big target inside the red zone. You have to watch out for his size and his athleticism. He will definitely be a factor to watch in this game, along with the wind we have here on field level. Eli Terry began to walk himself off as he reached the sideline after that hit. Since then, he sat on the bench, rolled up his pant leg on the left side. His trainer was rotating that left knee out, trying to get a good feel for it. He seemed to be doing all right. He popped up. His face was in good spirits, still talking with his trainers, but right now it does look hopeful for the senior running back. Coach, defensively, how have you been able to limit Robert Morris to 51 total yards, 1 first down?
Kids playing hard. You know, they're buying into the system. They're executing what Coach Cook's teaching them and the coaches, and they're playing hard and they're running to the ball, and it shows. So when kids are on the same page, they're communicating and they're running to the ball, you got a fighting chance, and they're doing that today.
How do you keep them on the same page and locked in for the second half?
Well, that's what we talked about. You got 30 minutes. Nothing's over until 60 minutes is up, and if they want to keep playing and treat Saturday like a championship game, then they got to finish the right way for 30 minutes left.
Coach, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Randy. The Sacred Heart quarterback Kevin Duke told me that his focus this season is just to let the game play out, not to force the big plays when it isn't necessary, and to, most importantly, above all else and at all costs, protect the football. The quarterback also recognizes that this season it is so important to him to cultivate a relationship with each and every athlete on his team. Most recently, this summer, the quarterback took the time to meet one-on-one with each first year. His hopes is that his teammates will support, believe, and just trust in his decision making. Coach, down just 3 goals going into the second. You said the energy was high, it was positive in the locker room. How essential is it to keep your composure and not let that shake you going into the second?
Yeah, I mean, we've been down 3 before in past games. It's something that we're used to. I think it's something that we can definitely overcome. We just got to make sure we keep our composure and stick to the game plan.
What will it take in your game plan to come away with a win?
You know, I think the execution part of it. You know, there's a lot of things that we're getting through the first few steps of our execution, but we're not finishing. So finishing is going to be good, and executing, I think, would be the biggest thing.
Coach, thanks.
Thank you so much.
JJ. Lafayette College is actually credited with inventing the football helmet. It was back in 1894 that an all-time great running back for the Leopards, George the Rose Barkley, got 3 thick leather straps. He put them around his head. They resembled somewhat of a harness, and he was just trying to prevent cauliflower ear. But fast forward a couple years and the helmet has surely developed, and this helmet in particular means a lot for the Lafayette football program. They have added the metallic L on both sides. On the back left corner, you'll see the American flag on top of the words Cur Non, that is Latin for why not, the motto for the Revolutionary War hero Marquis de Lafayette, after who the school is named. Gentlemen.
That was quite the history lesson, Professor Gaskins.
I feel like I should go on Jeopardy. Yes, I'll take Lafayette history for $200 after that history lesson we got.
Holy Family head coach Jeff Rotondo told us that this match against New Haven is all about battling through the adversities in every single way. The Tigers, familiar with adversities here in Connecticut, as coming off their win in 3 sets last night against the 4th-seeded Malloy. The team went out to get pizza, got back to their bus, and found that it was stuck in all the snow. So all of the athletes had to get out of the bus, and they worked together as a team to push it free from the snow. Yes, there is a video of this. It has gone viral back in their hometown of Philadelphia. You can also see it on Fox 29. This program has realized that if you can push a bus free of ice, then you can do anything, like win this match against the Chargers. 149 yards rushing. How comfortable did you feel when you were looking for the gaps today?
I felt very much like better than previous weeks. You know, since last week I had a very good game. We all did. So, like I said before, it was just more patient, and I can trust them. They can trust me more. So it was a better feeling this week. 3
touchdowns against Bryant last week. How were you able to carry that momentum into this matchup against the Colonials?
Just keep going. Every day in practice, just keep going, finishing everything, just working harder every day by day.
Julius, thanks.
No problem.
Randy. You hear of players using music to help get themselves pumped up for a game, but how about to calm themselves down? Running back A.J. Hines told me just last night that he likes to use some hype music before the game, but definitely mixes in some slower jams when he finds himself getting a little bit ahead. 5 goals in this win to help send your team now to the first round NCAA tournament against Princeton. How open did that net look?
Oh my gosh.
Sacred Heart Pioneers leading the Bryant Bulldogs 25-19 here at the half, and we'll take a look back at some of the highlights in the first half of action. To kick things off, it was Dabney knocking down a 3-pointer, the one and only of 9 attempts for Sacred Heart Pioneers to get the ball rolling. But then Bryant will answer back with a 3-pointer of their own coming from Palmer from the outside. The press is super high right now for the Knights on defense. They have done a great job at playing that man-to-man defense, also sliding over where they always are having that secondary defender to help out, doing a good job at running down the shot clock when the Pioneers have possession. Check out their timing, in rhythm, in sync, just at the height of the block. And on the beam, they do have a new deduction called a concentration deduction. So if you stand still for longer than 2 seconds, so 1 gymnastics, 2 gymnastics, it is a 1/10 of a deduction. For Penn, they just need to look to live out their mantra of the season. 2 words, 1 more, and it's not about a championship. It's all about the little things. Talking to Coach Mike McLaughlin.
Andrew well off on that 3, didn't touch anything.
So they mean 1 more in terms of effort, 1 more explosion, 1 more block, 1 more steal. Fairfield head coach Todd Kress told us at the top of the season that it would be one big work in progress all the way through December. He admitted also in their loss last night to Ryder that there is still a lot of work that needs to be done, but it really comes down to those intangibles, a fight, a drive, something deep down inside that this team has yet been able to tap into, JJ.
And something that St. Peter's is looking to tap into is continuing their success with a lot of young players.
The Peacocks coming into this match against the Stags with a 15-game losing streak against Fairfield. They are young, they are new, and they are ready to compete. This is a team that now knows what it takes to win. They will also be starting with, get this, 5 freshmen, 1 sophomore on the court.
As we look at our players to watch for this afternoon, it's the middle out of Texas, a sophomore in her own right, that's Lucy Albertson.
Albertson coming into her own when it matters most for the Stags. This is an athlete who right now has the best hitting percentage in the MAC in league play at just under 400.
On the opposite side for St. Peter's, a freshman in her own right. She has come on strong to begin conference play. It's Karen Rameau.
Rameau not able to contribute to her team's success until the 3rd MAC game of the season against Manhattan. But since then, she has made a huge splash, and she has become a key contributor to the Peacocks, averaging 4 kills a set. What jumps out right now, I'll tell you, for head coach Allison for Yale, are those 10 assists at the bottom of that graphic that you're looking at right now. She said, we are always better when we're sharing the ball. Roxy Behrman talks a lot about the assist game and sharing the ball on offense after every matchup here at home. So I know that has been a big focus for their program. It's so important to convert on those opportunities when they're given to you. Taking a look back here, Sam Higgins again, right to Nixon, turns, looks, wastes no time with that quick stick to the top corner, right over the head of Daly. And this time Mackenzie Hewitt draws it. Again, you see position established defensively. Hewitt drawing that offensive foul. Arna too with 20 service aces on the season, but what she does so dangerous from that service line is that she's able to throw the opposing team out of system. She targets their setter. If you try to look into the huddle, you might not get a good view of the board that Coach Herenda is holding, but at the top of every game, he writes on the bottom of his board every second of every possession for 40 minutes, if not more. So that is their motto going into every single game, and right now he probably just wants to tell his athletes, hey, you are not giving it your all every single possession that you've had. You've had a couple turnovers, a lot of missed basket opportunities, so we need to clean up that game. Wayne competing a Yuchenko full, big hop back. They do deduct for the distance that you hop back, so a bigger hop is going to be a bigger deduction. We'll take a look back at that bar routine though by Warren. There's the Ginger release move. You want to see a little bit higher than that free hip to a handstand as she connects to a bail down to the low bar, and she'll finish off with that full turn connected to a double back dismount. That's going to get you those extra bonus points, and most importantly, the stuck landing, last thing the judges see. As for Wang, competing that Yuchenko full form, impeccable. The only deduction I saw on that vault was the hop back at the end. You want to try to glue your feet to the mat for that stick. It has been a long 18-game road to get here to the opening round of the NCAA tournament, and it hasn't been easy down the stretch for either program. For Wagner in their NEC tournament, they won their semifinals and their finals game by just a goal. On the other hand, for the Stags, they were pushed into overtime in their championship game for the MAC against Siena. So both programs really excited to make it here to the opening day. The 6'4" center is the reigning Ivy League Rookie of the Year. She has not let down this season either. She is first in the Ivy League, second in the nation with over 3 blocks per game. She also leads the Ivy League in field goal percentage and is 6th in points per game. She completely controls the post. McManus diving in and away inside the crease, which is allowed this season, and a good feed there by Matt Campbell to help him out. Behrman just showing off her athleticism, her basketball IQ here, making it all work in her favor. Starting with a wolf turn. A wolf turn, you want to see that leg straight out from the hip. You don't want the chest to drop, and you want to see barely any movement. 30th goal now of the season for The senior attacker, Drum looking really good in this carry. Top of your screen, battling just through one defender. She protects her stick, and then she goes cross-body for the shot to the far left side. But look how fast Princeton works its way inside and then back out. They're really testing the defense. They move so quick, and they connect really well in their passes. Third and final pass. That's that Rudy, that front 1.5. Chest was a tad low on that landing. But she has a lot of spunk. Now 1 for 12 from the three-point range. That's a stat that's definitely going to stick out to head coach Jessica Minetti. We talked after the LIU Brooklyn game, and she was saying how they had 11 three-pointers in that game and just how important it was to be able to knock those in, builds confidence. It's something that they've been looking to do all season long. They need to keep Bryant off that glass because Bryant is crashing the glass. They're getting those offensive, defensive rebounds, and they're averaging 10 more a game right now than the Pioneers. For the Blackbirds, they really do need to protect the ball. Right now, they're averaging almost 20 turnovers per game. They also can't be shy in scoring because they are last in scoring in the NEC right now. They also need to work Erica Russell into the offense. This is a transfer who finally has had the ability to play in the last 2 games. Since then, she's averaged just under 10 points a game. It has been 13 consecutive weeks of competition that landed the best of the best here in the individual finals at the national championships. All of these athletes competing today have so much to be proud of, Dan. They put in work, they put in heart, they put in effort, and here they are. They get to compete for a national title on one of the 4 events. Colleen Young has broken 3 program records at Fairfield University. She's also a decorated member of the U.S. national team with 8 World Championship medals and 2 trips to the Olympic Games. Now imagine being able to accomplish all of this without the ability to see.
In the water, I don't really notice that I'm blind. When you're in the water actually swimming, you know, it's just the water treats you the same as any other person, so it kind of just fades away.
Born with albinism, Colleen is legally blind.
I guess it's a little blurry.
It didn't take long for Colleen to find her sport. She started swimming at the young age of 4.
Swimming, you know, you don't have to like chase a ball around a court or anything.
But there is a wall and a lane to stay in.
A lot of people with visual impairments count their strokes, and I probably should, but I don't. But yeah, I look at the black line, and then depending on like the pool or something, I'll either take 1 stroke after that or 2, and then I'll flip.
Her system worked well enough to become the youngest member at 14 to earn a spot on the U.S. Paralympic team for the London Games, a bronze 4 years later in Rio, and finally a gold at Worlds in 2017.
To win gold and to hear like the national anthem play like on top of the podium, like there's really no other feeling like that. I teared up a bit. It was pretty special.